Okay, we'll look at prime factorization. There's exactly one way to represent a positive integer is a product of prime numbers. Now I assume you know what prime numbers are. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 19, 17, forgot 17, and so forth, okay? Numbers that can't be divided into whole numbers, okay, into products of whole numbers, except by multiplying cells by 1. Okay, so 210. Okay, now define the prime factorization, which is the representation as a product of prime numbers. Okay, if we divide 2, and I chose 2, it's the smallest prime number. We're going to use the smallest prime number we can for every division. 2 divided into 210 is 105. So $210 equals 2 times 105. Now, is 105 a prime number? Well, no, it ends in 5, so we know it can be divided by 5. We're not going to divide it by 5, though. What we're going to do is we want to always divide by the smallest possible prime number. Okay, so 105, what's the smallest prime number that will divide 105? Well, that would be 3. Okay, 2 clearly won't divide 105. 105 is odd. So 3 divides 105, and we get 35. So now we know that 210 is 2 times 3 times 35, because 3 times 35 is 105, and 2 times 105 is 210. Okay, what about 35? Is it prime? Well, no. It's not divisible by 3, because 3 goes into 30. That would leave 5 left. You'd have 5 left over, and 3 won't divide into that 5. So you can't divide 35 by 3. So we have to divide by the next prime that actually divides 35, and that would be 5, giving us 7. So 210 is 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. All these are prime. So we say that two times 3 times 5 times 7 is the prime factorization of 210. Now, officially, we don't have to have them in order from smallest to largest. We could express them in any order, and it would still be the same set of numbers that you multiply to get, or the same numbers that you multiply to get 210. We could have divided this a little differently. Well, let's just take what we did here. We don't necessarily have to write it out this way. We can say that 210 becomes 2 times 105. And 105 becomes 3 times 35, and 35 becomes 5 times 7. So we have 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay? We could do 210 in different order. We don't necessarily have to start with the smallest prime, but it's a good idea. Okay? How do you divide 210? We can see that, well, it looks like that's 7 times 30. Okay, you see the 21 there with a 0 on it. You think 7 times 3, but then you need 7 times 30. Okay, that works fine. Okay, well, what about 30? Well, 30 is 5 times 6. We're familiar with that. And what's 6? Well, 6 is 2 times 3. So again, writing them in the order that they came out, we get 7 times 5 times 2 times 3, but that's the same as 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. Okay? So either of these is a prime factorization, but they're the same prime factorization. They're just expressed in different order.